Here we go. Whit Merrifield joining us right now from the best golf clubhouse in home baseball. Whit, good to see you, man. I know you're a big football guy too, so I actually want to start here because after this weekend, it's baseball talk. So, what do you think the NFL does well that MLB can take a page from? And I'll just bring up a couple concepts to get your take on and obviously offer whatever else. Good to see you, dude. But they have a neutral site for their championship game. That's actually been talked about in the past. Like, can we do a day or two of the World Series and then run the rest of it? Just throwing it out there. I know that's an easy no for most players, but that or anything else that comes to mind with the NFL and their amazing parity actually that they offer with that salary cap, which I know will open up a can of worms for you.
That's a good question. And honestly, I've really never thought about it. I think the neutral site, I think is just a hard no. Football, I get it. It's one game. There's such a advantage being at your home site, so I get being neutral. But baseball, I mean, it's a little bit of advantage, not that much, really. Really, the advantage is in the playoffs. The crowd can be an advantage, but it's batting in the bottom of the bottom of the inning. And besides that, I mean, I don't know. Salary cap, I won't get into right now with you guys. So that's a whole
Yes.
other topic. But I don't know. I mean, they do a good job of promoting the game. I think we do as well. I just think it's just different. We play 162 games. Um, our Tuesday 1:30 game just doesn't hold the same value as a Sunday night football game. It just doesn't. So it's hard to compare the two sports, but football is always trying to improve. Basketball is, we are, golf is. Every sport's always trying to improve their product and make it better for the fans.
Wait, you said neutral site for the playoffs would be bad, right? But we could have that scenario if the ATHs of Sacramento or the Tampa area Rays from the Steinbrenner field make the playoffs. They've come out and said most likely they're not going to play in those fields.
I'm okay with that. I mean, that's a little bit of a unique situation, but I don't think anybody really wants to go to Sacramento to play a playoff game, so I'm okay with finding something else out.
Yeah, but think about it. If you sign with one of those teams, you've played in front of those fans the entire year.
I mean, I hear what you're saying, but uh, I I don't know. I mean, it'd be almost being a college basketball fan I am. It could be like almost like going to a Cameron Indoor Stadium, where it's not the biggest stadium, but maybe it's the craziest because it's small and there's people on top of you. Um, I don't know. I don't know. I haven't thought about that. I haven't thought about what if Sacramento or Tampa makes the playoffs. I don't know the answer to that, but I mean MLB is going to want to have as many people in the game as they can, so they're going to want ticket sales up. So I'm sure they'll try to move it to bigger bigger venue. I don't know. I don't know what they're going to do.
When we talk about free agency, been a part of it, you're being a part of it, everybody is. You hear the rumors, the speculations, you get the calls. Do you try and stay out of that, or you want to hear every little thing that's going on? Because it is your livelihood at the end of the day.
Last year I tried to stay in loop with what was going on. It was my first time going through it, and so I tried to stay, I guess, in touch with what are the rumors that were being circulated, but also with my agent who he had talked to, which a lot of times didn't line up with what you're hearing online or on TV or whatever it may be. Um, and then comes out, Philly calls me last minute, and within a week the deal's done, and they were never on the radar. So I've gone into this off season. Um, in a different spot because I didn't have the year last year that I had the year before in Toronto. So um, the expectation, I guess, wasn't the same. But also, I've learned that um, you never know who's going to call. It doesn't matter what you're hearing or what you're your agent's telling you. Somebody can call last minute. So I've just kind of not really paid much attention to it. I answer calls from my agent when he calls me, obviously, but yeah, just kind of been a lot more relaxed this offseason, which has been nice.
Do you look at teams that have openings like yourself? Are you ever just scrolling on the pooper and like looking at it like, I wonder who doesn't have a. I feel like getting 650 at bats as a second baseman. Screw this utility thing. Like, who doesn't have a second baseman? Do you ever do that, or do you look at even like the most recent signing that we're just talking about? Moncada got $5 million. You're like, I feel like I could get that. Like I'm out on the field.
It's hard. I mean, that's hard to not compare when you see guys get certain contracts and you try to compare yourself to them. I mean, that's just human nature to do. But I don't put a whole lot of value in it because certain teams see players certain ways. But one, don't scroll in the pooper. It's bad for you. Don't do that. Get in, get out. I want you getting hemorrhoids. You're done catching. You don't need hemorrhoids anymore.
Whoa,
Uh,
whoa, 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 whoa. First of all, the man doesn't have hemorrhoids, okay? And what is
anymore.
just because you sit there? Just because you sit there longer?
Hey, that's what happens, man. Read a book.
I am reading the book. That's why I'm in there so long.
Yeah, exactly.
I
No,
mean,
but I
come
heard you
on.
guys talking a little bit about before I got on about some of the chronic stuff that goes on, and that's something I've really taken pride in my career, and I don't think it gets valued like it should. Is guys that are on the field, guys that stay on the field, um, and it's honestly I feel like now that I'm 36, and I haven't spent a day on the IL. When there's times that I could have, I honestly look back and like, did I do it wrong? Because there were times when I was on the field, maybe not at 100%, but it felt like it was my job to be out on that field. That maybe took away from, I guess, the kind of player that, or the numbers wise, what I could have done if I just would have gone on the IL and not come back till I was 100% healthy. And I don't think that's right, but I feel like that's the way certain teams are valuing guys and paying guys because of sheer raw numbers. So I heard you guys talking before I came on here, and I just wanted to address that because it's kind of bothered me a little bit over the last couple of years that I've kind of reflected on that and been like, man, I don't doesn't seem right.
Hit on that a little bit. I don't know how much you heard because I was kind of going against Scott saying I don't believe. I'm not saying everybody can't, but like the chronic part of it. Like, how much did you put in to stay on the field? You said, I'm very proud of not spending any time on IL. And Michael Young was the exact same way. He was very proud of not spending time on the IL in his career. How much do you put into that? And do you feel like, obviously, you can't blanket statement everybody, and I don't want you to mention people, but do you feel like guys don't put enough time in to staying off the IL? Position players.
Yeah, because I feel like it, it's uh it's not viewed in a positive light. It's not appreciated when guys aren't on the IL. It's if a guy is and this happens throughout the league on every team, but when a guy starts struggling, you're never going to feel 100%, especially after once spring training is over, you got that maybe first series of adrenaline of opening weekend, and then you're not 100% ever. And when guys start struggling, you feel little nicks and knacks that are everyone feels, and you can lean into that a little bit if you feel like, okay, well, let me take a couple weeks off and get this wrist right, or get this foot right, or get this hamstring right. Call it getting it right, but really, I just need to take a break away or take a step away and reset, and then when I come back, maybe this funk I'm in will be over. And you see it all the time, and that's just it's not right, but it's not policed. It's teams don't punish guys for that. Teams don't devalue guys for that. It's almost the opposite. It's like if it works for the guy, okay, well this guy's numbers were good. He had 500 at bats when he should have had 650 at bats, but his OPS and all these, his WRC plus, they were all good. Okay, well when he started to slide, he got away. And so that's why I look back and I'm like, man, maybe I played the system wrong. And I hate that. I hate feeling like that because it's not what I think how the game should be played. But who
No,
knows?
it's a good call.
Maybe I'm doing it wrong.
So rate stats are valued much more now than counting stats versus even 10 years ago, right? Where they're like, okay, I want to know what this player's doing on a per game basis, and I don't care that he gave me 160 or whatever, right? There's actually one step further from this too. And I like parts of this because I think it helps certain players get out of slumps, and they've talked about it. Hey, bad batted ball luck. We're looking at your peripherals, and it says that you actually should be much better. And I think parts of that are good, but there are other parts of that that point to players who never actually reach those expectations and just aren't that good. And they become, for lack of a better term, like a sabermetric darling, right? And we've seen players like that. I'm not going to throw certain names out there right now, but I don't know. That's my take on how the game has changed. And then I think players try to adjust to the way that front offices are evaluating things, right? Where they're like, okay, they don't care if I play as much, then I'm just going to, say that something's bothering me and miss a couple weeks, like you're saying. And it's not being valued that you actually need that player on the field because the backup is going to give you much worse production.
Yeah, well, I think too that it's the way the game is, the way that front offices are approaching the game. You got mandatory off days, and from the time these guys are in the minor leagues, if you're a top prospect, you're playing like I think they play 6 games a week. You're playing like 4, and you're getting 2 mandatory days off, something like that. So you're kind of bred from the time you're young that it's not normal to play every day. It's not normal to go through a full season, and there's in every sport you're seeing that. You're seeing load management days in the NBA and maybe not so much the NFL or football, but yeah, it's different mentality of going about playing this day and age. And I hate to sound like an old guy, but um, I was always under, there's a famous Wally Pipp story that's always stuck with me. And it took me a long time to get to the big leagues. And once I got there, I didn't want to take a day off. And I don't want this guy that's working in AAA to come take my job to have a chance to come up and go 4 for 4 with 2 homers. And now it's like, okay, well, maybe Whit's not the guy. And, I wanted to get in the door, get my foot in and never give it up. And that's not really, I guess, the common mentality anymore, which is, like I said, maybe I'm in the wrong, but it's different.
I don't believe you are. I don't believe you are. Keep grinding until they take the jersey from you, not sit in the tub until they give you your jersey back. But I got a question for you. Now, I want you to turn a little bit to the left so the light hits you pretty good, like this.
You see? Oh, you've been seeing some grace?
No grays. I don't see any. I was looking at your beard because the Yankees need a second baseman. Would you be willing to shave that? Because I've never seen that face like smooth shave. Like, are you okay with that rule? Like, if the Yankees are like, hey, we need a second baseman.
Kratz, we played together when I had to shave my face.
You shaved it. It was never.
Kratz,
it was never
killing you,
shaved.
Hey, we played together.
No, it was never. You always had that amount. That was the one rule that you bent in Omaha.
No.
You had it bent. Look at that face. You're like a constant 5 o'clock shadow.
Oh my God, Kratz, he's killing you.
Unbelievable. I mean, yeah, no, my wife would love for me to have to shave my face. It'd be mandatory for me to shave my face every day. She would love that. 100%.
Okay.
So
Whit to the Yankees tomorrow.
I did it in 2022 when I was
All
really
clean?
scuffling. Yeah, all clean. I think it was towards the end of my time in Kansas City, and then first little bit in Toronto. I was full clean.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Last one. Who won your tourney? Since you're
Yeah, we
sitting
haven't
in
had
your
you
pro
on.
shop,
What happened?
we haven't had you on. Which ones did you come up with a division that you could win for yourself this time again? Where you're like, oh, here's my trophy.
No, you can't do it every year. Then nobody will show up. So you have to
Okay.
kind of hear it, Aaron
Sandbag
Hicks
him.
won. Yeah, Aaron Hicks won the gross division, so he was the best golfer there. He's nasty. He's so good.
He's so good.
He's
He's
filthy.
so good. And then Jackson Stevens won the net division, so he was kind of a last minute ad as well. So that was good for him that he won.
That's cool. I like
And how
that.
did you do?
Yeah,
How did you do?
my game's not great right now. I got a little baby over there, and she's taken away from my golf. So I'll have to tell her about it when she gets older. How much she hurt my golf game these years.
I'm sure she's going to care this much.
Yeah,
Yeah, exactly.
that's a little much. Kratz, lower it like here. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Thanks,
Well,
Whit, for coming on, and I'll take care of my hemorrhoids later. I appreciate that.
There you go. Kratz saying goodbye. Whit, good to see you, dude. We'll catch you in a few weeks, okay?
Yeah, good to see you, fellas.